Welcome back, everyone. It is week 8 of Peak. It has flown by. It seems to be going so quick this time around. I hope you are all excited. We have some awesome people joining us today. So we have Frank Vandenberg, who is back again to lead us through the session. We are also joined by Karen. Lots of you may know her from Social Club. Janet's joining us, who has helped with Peak in the past. I think you may remember from Peak 2, 3, and I believe Peak 1. And then Jody Flanagan is also here. So everyone remembers her from other mindfulness sessions in Maximize Your Mind. So she's back to help us as well. We got a star-packed crew, so I hope you are excited. But without further ado, Frank, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Justin. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great start of the week on this Monday. What is it? March 28th. I believe it's the start of your 8th week of making the trek up to the peak. You've been working really hard, I'm sure, over the last several weeks, but it's not quite over yet. It's one more week of good work, strong finish to go. I am back. This is, I don't know, I think the 5th peak program I'm participating in, and seeing you and teaching you something and helping you out and connecting with you. And it's been great. So let's make this a great session, a great evening. I've prepared some things that I think we can all learn from, can all do well. My name is Frank. I'm a mental performance consultant, a sports psych, some people say. I work with athletes and work on their mental game. And I don't have this slide prepared tonight, but you've seen it before. When you're thinking about mental fitness for sport, it's about what you say to yourself or what you're thinking. It's about what you see in your mind, or what you can see on your mind, or what you can focus on. It's about what you feel, and how you can change that to be the best. And it's about what you do, how you act, how you behave, how you perform. And that's in a nutshell what is all the sports psych about, is about how do we use our mind and body, by the way, to put ourselves in the best possible position to not only perform in sport, to be doing well, to go after personal best, but also to do really good training and preparation so we are ready to compete. And also to take care of ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, to nourish ourselves. And so we can use our mind and body for all of those things. And as I'm showing you a few slides later, there may be some reminders that you have seen before. And why would I show that again? Well, that's because I maybe think it's important, or maybe I think you should see it twice or think about it twice. And maybe I think you should maybe do it twice or maybe more often, actually, to get better at it. You know, that's what I think mental training is about, just like physical training or training in sport is you do a lot of reps, don't you? You do a lot of repetition. You do a lot of repetition to get better at things. And it's the same with mental training. So we're not going to do the exact same thing, but I do want to show you some really good skills or strategies that you can apply, that you can use to your advantage. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let me see where that is. There, slideshow. Then I have to find there we go, the Zoom again, so I can see you on my other screen. We get so used to doing work over Zoom. Have you guys gotten used to do all these things over Zoom all the time? Are we getting better at it? I think I am. I'm a little tired of it, but it works. You know, Zoom is, if we can't be with each other in person, you know, Zoom is kind of the next best thing. FaceTime may count, or maybe just a phone call. but just to connect, and that we can do something even from our own homes. And so that has been the reality for a long time. But you know what, it works. And I've been doing this every peak season. I've been coming to you from my own basement office and meeting you where you are, in your home, in your living room, maybe in your bedroom, in your study. So anyway, this is Maximize Your Mind Monday again. This is March 28th, 2022. And I'm so privileged to be part of this peak program for the 5th time. And I'm going to ask you about your trek up onto the peak in the next slide. But first, I want to tell you what I did last weekend. I walked up a peak myself. This was in Kananaskis country. We went for a bike ride. You can see me right there with my wife, Laura. We went for a bike ride, and then we decided to go to hike up this trail up onto this ridge, up onto this mountain, because supposedly there was a really nice viewpoint. And we made it all the way up, but it wasn't easy. It was quite steep, and took our breath away. You know, it's not easy to kind of climb uphill for an hour or for half an hour or an hour. So you have to take your breaks and, you know, get some water. You see my bottle in my hand there, and then continue. So we made it up there, and we, you know, took in the views, and we saw a big herd of I think bighorn sheep, or on the other ridge. We can see them from a distance. We actually ran into a skunk on the side of the road. The skunk was really friendly, but I've never seen a skunk so close by, and he was just worrying about getting the roots of plants and eating. So it was kind of nice to see a skunk close up for a while, you know, and not being skunked, I guess. So that was nice. Anyway, that was a great great time on the weekend that I did. Do you notice what I'm sporting there on my head? It is the Special Olympics bandana. I'm not sure from which season, but it's blue. I think I have an orange one too. Peak season 2, Justin says. Thank you. So I was wearing that for protection against the sun and the wind. So that was great. That's how I use it this time. How are you using the bandana? Are you still using it? Just put in the chat how you're using your bandana and when was the last time. I don't know what the name of the hill is. Someone asked me, what's the name of the hill? I don't know. I just biked down this road in Kananaskis country, and then we came by this trail, and then we walked up the trail because people came down, and I have no idea. I have to figure out what the name of that hill is. Oh, I just got my buff today. Did you get a new buff? That's nice. It's called a buff, not a bandana. You can use it as a bandana. It's actually called a buff, I think. Right? Looks like Prairie Mountain. Well, I'm not sure if it's Prairie Mountain. I think that's somewhere else, but nice. Okay. So your trek, you know, a few sessions ago, or probably the first session of this peak season, I was asking you if you could imagine reaching the peak on your climb. And I'm not sure what you signed up for. It may be Denali, Mount Denali. It may be Mount Everest. It may be Mount Robson. It may be the Matterhorn, or it may be the Kilimanjaro. But you've been working all along, all those weeks to get up there. And I'm sure it's been a lot of work. And we're going to talk a little bit about all of that work that you've done, you know, and the good things that you've done in that trek, and so maybe some of the difficult and challenging things. You know, I could ask you, have you already reached the peak? Like, are you ahead of schedule, or are you supposed to be reaching the peak like this week, like maybe in a few days? And I'm sure there's still some work to do. There's still some elevate exercise sessions. There's still a bingo card to fill in with all the activities. It doesn't stop yet, right? So even if you've maybe made it all the way to the top as far as the minutes and the points is concerned, you still have a week ahead of you. You know, maybe you can call it a cool down. And I'm wondering if you've heard about the concept of cool down before. So after you've done really hard work and you've been putting a lot of effort in, you also probably need to kind of cool down again. So to bring your body make it a little easier for your body. You know, when your heartbeat is 100, 120, 140, or even higher, it's probably wise to, go for a little walk and just make that heartbeat a little lower again. And it takes a few minutes for us to calm down again. So that's what cool down is about. Sometimes people do stretching, hydration is always important, that type of thing. So, wondering what your mountain is and how far you are up there. Maybe you've already made it. Maybe you're just underneath the peak. Maybe it's this last couple of days, maybe this last week before you make it all the way up to the top. So that's what my your message is, it's a few days left. So finish strong, what you got to do, what you got to do. Enjoy every moment that you get to accomplish your goal, to accomplish maybe even a dream. And it takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of motivation. And maybe I'm going to ask about what motivates you to go all the way up. I'm going to ask you at the end of the session, what motivates you to keep going in sport? What keeps you going with Special Olympics? So I'll have a slide for that. So at this time, I'm going to show you something that you may be seen before. But as you're preparing for training, as you're preparing for racing or competition, there's a few things that we can do with our mind, and really to maximize your performance, to be ready, to give yourself the best possible kind of the best possible option to perform well. I call it individual check. It's basically a checklist. It's just a few questions or a few checks that you can go through that may help you to figure out, hey, am I ready to go? Am I ready to go into training? Am I ready to go into the game, into competition? And so, I always say when I show so many options, you don't have to necessarily think about everything, but you may want to think about some. So you may want to maybe make a few notes, or, maybe put a few notes in your mind about what you want to remember here. So the first one, before you get into training, practice, or your race or your game, what are my goals? What am I trying to achieve? What am I trying to achieve in this practice? What am I trying to improve? What do you want to focus on? Because when you're setting goals, you put your mind to it. Okay, it makes you a little bit more deliberate. That's a good word. Or it makes you a little bit more committed, or it makes you a little bit more focused. So thinking about what you want to achieve in your practice, or in your training, or in your competition, in your race, is a really good thing. So try to think about how you want to be swimming fast, running fast, how you want to shoot the ball, the soccer ball, the floor hockey ball. How do you want to race the snowshoes or the skis? How do you want to skate? Because those goals really help you, to be focused and to know what you want to do. So that's the first check. Check yourself on your goals. Second check your feeling. Check your energy. See how you're feeling. See how much energy you're having. If you're checking your energy and it's a little low, maybe you have to amp it up a little bit. Maybe you have to activate a little bit. You can ask yourself, how do I bring it up? How do I activate? Well, you can make some jumps, some stretches, high fives. Maybe you want to sing a song that's really energizing. Maybe you want to listen to music that's energizing. I know a lot of athletes do that. Make your blood flow a little bit, make your heart beat a little bit, because if you're low, you need a little bit more. But what often happens is that athletes are a little high and you want to get a little lower. And I call that chilling. You want to chill out a bit, you want to relaxation. So when you're too low, you want to activate. When you're too high, you want to bring it down. You want to kind of use that relaxation. And I use that to regulate. And you've learned probably a couple of things during peak program about how you can relax a little bit, about what calms you down a little bit. What may you do to slow down the heartbeat a bit? What do you want to think about that makes it a little easier? Sometimes we just want to smile and have good time together because that is easier. That works well. Check feeling, second check. Third one, how am I talking to myself? Am I talking to myself in a way that is supportive? Am I talking to myself in a way that I want to listen to? Am I giving myself good messages? Are the messages that I'm giving myself, are they motivating me? Are they telling me what to do? Or are they telling me that I can do it? That type of self-talk, that type of, things that you can go over in your mind are really, really helpful. You feel good about it if you're talking to yourself in a good way, in a supportive way. Last time I was here, we worked on imagery. I'm not sure if you remember that session, but we can see things in our mind, and we can see things in our mind about how we want to do it, how we want to perform, how we want to execute. So is my self-talk, are my images, are they supportive? Are they correct? Are they positive? The next check here. What are my super strengths? Affirmations. I'm not sure if you remember this. This was the second session in this peak season. The second week we talked about, those statements. I call them affirmations, statements that you can tell yourself, statements about yourself, about your ability, about your desire, statements that you want to feel good about. And you can base them on some of those strengths that you have. What is a quality that you have in your sport? Remember those few exercises that we did back then? Because they are really helpful. Maybe you want to go back in time and look at your notes from the second session we've done, because we've worked a lot on those back then. And the last one check is kind of a different way of thinking. Am I clear? Am I clear in my mind? Am I clear about what I want to do? Am I present? Am I in the present moment? Am I in the here and now? Can I present myself in a way that people want to look at, like want to watch sport? Am I ready? Am I ready to go? So this is a lot. These are 5 checks, and there's a lot to do with each of them. And again, maybe it's not all of them that you would want to remember, but maybe 1 or 2 are kind of being helpful about how you get ready for a good practice, and more importantly, for a good race, good competition. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that's a good reminder. I hope that is something that you can, use in the future again. And again, I said earlier, mental training is about training it, doing it more often, using it more often, and see if you can benefit, if it works for you. Okay. The next section is a little bit about what do we take away from the peak program? What are we learning? Maybe we should celebrate something. Maybe you have made some real good accomplishment, and we should really celebrate that accomplishment. Or maybe you hear something. Maybe you hear something else, someone else say something that's really inspiring you, and then you want to do the same. So that is really what this next section is about, and we're going to do that in breakout rooms on Zoom. And so in a minute, Justin is going to put all of us in smaller groups in a breakout room. And there's 2 questions, and the questions will also appear in the chat. And I would like you to discuss these questions with each other. I would like you to learn from each other. So the first 2 questions in the first breakout room is, what is the biggest accomplishment in your track to the peak 5? What's the biggest accomplishment? What are you really proud of? What is something that you've done really, really well? And also the question is, what was a big challenge? What was something difficult? It's also good to know. Not everything is great. So let's see what was difficult. So looking at time, maybe Justin, we can do this maybe for 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes for those 2 questions.
Awesome. Sounds good. I have the rooms ready to go. We're going to speed run it a little bit when you guys are in the group. So just make sure that you are cognizant of the time that we are spending. So make sure your question or answers to the questions aren't super long, so everyone gets a chance to talk.
Perfect.
But if you're good, Frank, I'll break us into rooms now.
Great. I hope you enjoyed a small little talk with your fellow athletes and with your host or facilitator I had a great chat with my group. And I hope that you were able to share something that you've done really well, that you take pride in, that you're proud of, that you did well, that was a great accomplishment. And I've heard some really good examples. You know what? And I said to my group, it's not always easy, right? I mean, it's not always easy what we're trying to do. I mean, sometimes we like it and sometimes it's easy enough or fun. Sometimes we have to really, grin our teeth a little bit and work hard and work through the frustration or the discomfort. We don't always like all the exercises that are good for us, but we know that they're good for us, and that's why we always want to do them. And so it's not always easy. Sometimes it's difficult and sometimes it's challenging. You cannot just expect everything to be great all the time, right? And so when I ask athletes after, a training or a race or a competition, how did it go? Well, maybe there were some mistakes, or maybe it actually went great. But I always asked in two ways. Can you tell me two things that you did well? Two things that you're proud of? Two things that you executed as you were supposed to? Two things that went well, but also two things that you could have done better, that you could have done different. Things that you may have missed out on, or maybe a little mistake, because mistakes happen. We can't be perfect all the time. So ask yourself after a good training or after a good race, what are two things that I want to remember because they were good? And what are two things that I want to do different the next time? And why do you think I asked 2 and 2? Because not everything is great and not everything is bad. We want to look at both ends and to kind of keep a little bit of a balance in that. And only 2, just to keep it very simple. Maybe even 1, but not 5. That's too much. We can't really handle 5 different things. Times 2 is 10 different things, too much. So just 2 and 2. Ask yourself how you've done. So that's one way of looking at it. Okay, I'm going to open the chat. Nice, thank you. I'm gonna start my, I'm gonna go back to my slideshow. So these were the questions that you've been discussing just now, and I will do one more breakout room where I'm going to ask you some other questions. But before we get there, I would like to have a look at the bingo card for this week. I think I've downloaded the correct one for week 8, and there's a lot on there. You know what? And I'm going to actually maybe think about 1 or 2 that you could use also for the purpose of mental training and recovery. And because you don't see only the training ones like the sit-ups and the jumping jacks, but you can also see, for example, the take a walk in the park. Okay. And so I always think about when we're looking at this exercising that you're starting, that you're completing to get your points and make your way up to the peak, is that you also want to recover well, rest hard. So I'm using this picture of a big gorilla that is just chilling. But it's really important to realize that we can only do well when we work hard, when we work out hard. We also want to rest hard. We want to recover well. We can only work out hard again if we have recovered again. So that's why I always use this sentence. Work hard, then rest hard. And obviously you can do that in very different ways, as you can see on the slide. You know, just normal self-care. And this could be a simple shower after a practice or after a competition. When we're dirty and sweaty, doesn't it feel great to get nice and clean, to get nice and fresh again? You know, to feel good after a workout. That type of self-care really helps, makes us feel better, take care of our hair, our teeth. You know, maybe use a little cream on our faces or on our hands because they may get dry. It all makes us feel better. And so that's really, really good. You've learned a ton about nutrition and hydration. When I go back to this other slide, I see on the bingo card, drink 5 cups or bottles of water per day. That's a lot of water, but it's really important because we want to stay hydrated. And I see on the nutrition, eat fruits and veggies, maybe 5 different ones every day. So this nutrition and hydration is really really good and helpful for us to recover well from our workouts, when we work hard. We can do physical recovery. I earlier talked a little bit about the cool down. Maybe some stretching can help. I know some athletes like to use rollers to roll their muscles a little bit. Maybe you want to even check into your body, and just like I do, and kind of make sure that there's no tense muscles, and just kind of make them a little easier so we can actually sit better, we can breathe better. Mental recovery is really important. It's not only that we want to recover from the physical workout, we also want to kind of get a little break in our mind. We don't have to think about sport all day. Sometimes we do, but maybe not every day, all day, every day. And sometimes we want to kind of do something else. Maybe read a book, or read a good story, or maybe go for a walk in the park, and enjoy nature. It really puts our mind somewhere else. And it's not only that we're getting ourselves a small physical break, we're definitely giving ourselves also a mental break. And there's different relaxation exercises. I think you've learned quite a bit. Various ways of using your breathing to calm yourself down, to feel nice and relaxed, to really enjoy that moment. And often it goes with that kind of mindful kind of experience that you've been learning from with others as well. We've done a bit of that in the past as well. So again, a lot of options, but just pick some that you like best, that work for you. Work hard, then rest hard. Now let's do one more little Zoom breakout room. Here's 2 questions for you that I would like you to discuss with each other and also learn from each other. So this peak season, peak program 5, what did you learn? What was something new for you? What is something that you had not done before and now you've started doing it? What is something new for you? What did you learn? And maybe what do you want to remember? Or maybe continue in the future, something that you've done now or are doing now, but something that you feel is really worth doing in the future as well. So maybe we'll give it another, Justin, 6 to 8 minutes, 8 minutes maybe for this breakout room.
Perfect. I am going to open up the rooms right now. Okay, it looks like everybody is back, Frank, and we're good to go.
Perfect. We won't take too long anymore. We're almost at the end of this session, but it was another great conversation I had in my group. I hear that that athletes really remember hot chocolate breathing. I have still not tried it myself, but I think a lot of you are liking that one. The other one that I heard is about muscle relaxation, basically tensing and releasing muscles to get that sense of relaxation as well as the practice of mindfulness. So, you guys, what I'm hearing in my group, you're taking a lot of those skills and strategies away. And it's not only because of the peak program, now you've learned how to apply it after a day of work or after a hard training. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. And thank you for the other facilitators. I believe Janet and Jody and Karen and Justin. I'm not sure if I'm missing someone, but we're almost done. I have one more little task for you, and then then you get the password. So let me organize this. So, we need to keep our motivation up, not only for this week to continue our track and to complete our workouts and to do all the exercises that we still should be doing this week, but then also moving forward. And so there's different ways to kind of think about to stay motivated. And what you see on the slide here is what a lot of athletes feel very strong about. And these are all good reasons to be doing sport and to be doing sport and to work hard for doing your sport. So look at these examples. To do something I'm good at, maybe to improve my skills, maybe for the excitement of competition, maybe to learn new skills, maybe to get exercise, maybe to have fun, and maybe to win, why not? Maybe to be part of a team, or maybe to make new friends. So as you're reading through this and as you're hearing me speak, they're all good reasons, aren't they? I'm not going to say that the one is better than the other, but you may think, maybe this one I really like. This is why I'm doing my sport, or this is why I want to keep doing my sport with Special Olympics, Alberta. And so maybe think about, what is your top 2? What is your top 3 out of all these 10? And all 10 are important. All 10 are really, really good. It's not to say that they're not good, but what is your favorite? And so why don't you put your favorite reason to do sport in the chat? And I'll just be curious to kind of see what some of your main motivations, your main drivers are. And see if you can give some really good answers about why you want to stay engaged with sports, with Special Olympics, with the peak program in your team, being out with friends to exercise. I read it all to be part of a team. Good work. To make new friends. Seeing all my friends. Yes, it's great. I enjoy being motivated and stay active. To keep cheering everyone on, to experience. Nice. Really good work. I just wanted to share this with you, that we're not doing it for one reason only, but there's probably a few good ones. And you see a few good ones all listed on the same slide. And I hope it inspires you. I hope it inspires you to keep doing this, because it's healthy, it's fun, we're doing it together, we're doing it as a community, as a team, and we're getting better through it. Maybe that too, why not? So this is the big reveal. It's a few more minutes before 8, but I'm gonna share with you the password so you can write it down and get your points towards your track. Password of this week is Leduc. Leduc. Make sure you write it down, or remember it, I guess. Leduc is the password. And we can also put it in the chat, I guess, but I want to thank you. First of all, the athletes that I'm working with. It's always super fun. I always feel that it's super fun for you to work with me. It's always a great interaction. You bring up such good examples. I hope I can teach you a couple of things. I hope I motivate you in one way or another. I hope you enjoy what we're doing. I want to thank you. I want to thank Justin, who is always on my side, who's always making this happen. I want to thank Special Olympics Alberta for having me part of this program. And I wish you a really good end of the week, end of the track. Enjoy the view on the top. And there's probably going to be a track onto your next adventure coming up, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's for real. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and thank you for your participation. Not sure if anyone has a question or wants to tell me something. I see a few hands up. Maybe we can entertain. Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
We got a few hands up, so we'll ask a few questions here. So Miranda, you can unmute.
I didn't want to have a question. I just wanted to make a comment. Thank you, Frank, for a great session. And my takeaway is, I said to Justin, I want to make new friends, and I want to keep on tracking with this awesome peak team, because we never know when we're going to see each other.
Nice. I really appreciate that. You're very welcome, Miranda. I do this with all my heart, and I have a lot of fun doing this with all with you. And I'm super pumped to hear that you want to continue going up those mountains. Keep trekking. Great to hear, Miranda. Thank you.
Well, to Frank, from me, you'll always be a lifelong peak friend.
Nice. I love to hear that. It makes me feel
Thanks,
so good.
Miranda. Okay, Tara, you can unmute.
Thank you, Frank, for all these sessions, and I had fun.
So good to hear. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
and I've been exercising at the gym.
You're doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Nice. Great to hear. I'm great to hear that you stay motivated and keep going. And even if this week 8 is over, keep trekking. Keep going.
I hope I see you again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Tara. Brittany, Bert, you can unmute.
Hi, I did accomplish something today that I've never did before, but I ran the whole track at the gym. My mind was telling me not to stop running, but I just said to myself, keep going, you're almost finished.
That's so great to hear, Brittany. I'm so happy that you had that accomplishment today. How did it make you feel afterward?
It made me feel so great because like I knew I could do it. Like I knew if I stopped, I would have given up, but I knew I could. I had it in my mind, just keep going.
Everyone put their hands together for Brittany. That's a great feat. Well done, Brittany. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And I hope to see you again sometime, Frank.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Brittany. So fun.
Thank you, Brittany. We will do 3 more questions. So I know there's a lot of hands up. I won't get it everyone today, but we'll do 3 more. So Alex, you can unmute.
I just wanted to say a special thank you to you, Frank, because you are a great mentor and we appreciate for all the help we got.
Oh,
thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for letting me know that, Alex. That really makes a difference. It really makes my day to hear that from you and from all of you. I'm here with purpose and with passion, and I'm so glad that I can do this with all of you. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure, Frank.
Thanks, Alex. Laura Hill, you can unmute.
I want to just say thank you, Frank, for everything you've done. And I'm going to take everything like that breathing and activity. I'm going to take that with me to help me finish up my schooling that I'm doing. I start practicum in August.
That sounds so good. Thank you for letting me know. And you know what? It's so big and bold over your head. Happy spring to you.
Yes, you too.
Thank you, Laura. And we are going to finish off the last question with Jordan Tyson. So you can unmute.
So the question is, why do we keep our bodies strong and staying healthy? And how to keep our minds healthy?
Well, we're doing a lot of work on that every day, every week, every year. You know, it kind of never stops, to be honest. But sometimes we work a little harder than other days. Sometimes you work out a little harder than other days, and sometimes we need to take a little bit more rest to take a little bit more rest than other days. And these are ways we can kind of keep a little bit of a balance. You know, we can't only work hard or go all out. We need to sometimes dial it back a little bit so we can actually recover, relax, and be well. And then there's ways that you can just show a little bit kindness, a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of passion. You know, when I say those things, Jordan, how does it make you feel when you're thinking about how kind can I be? What can I be grateful for?
To exercise properly.
Nice.
Try not to overdo it, or else we get hurt or injured and
Right.
go to the hospital.
No, we don't want that.
No.
That's why we needed to balance it out a little bit. That's a really good point. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much, Jordan. So Frank, do you have anything else you want to say before we take
No,
off?
I wish you a good end of this week, a good end of the track. Enjoy your view and keep on tracking. As I said before, keep doing the good work, because you've learned so much and it's gonna make you even better 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. And until next time, I don't know when that will be, but I love it. You take care.
Awesome. So just before everyone goes, just a reminder, we do have Elevate with Exercise. We have Peak Eats on Wednesday, and then Thursday we finish up with Social Club. We still have a packed week, lots of stuff to do. I hope you guys are excited, have lots of fun with it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening and have a good one.